beautiful friends, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making mango gelato. I am so excited to share this recipe with you guys because it is summer and we need all the delicious, refreshing treats, and I personally love mangoes, so I love this recipe. I am making a gelato instead of an ice cream because when I first made this recipe I didn't have much cream, so that's pretty much the difference between a gelato and a ice cream. Ice cream has more cream, so it has more fat than gelato. I have to say I personally prefer gelato over ice cream because it's silkier, it's smoother, it's creamier without all of the cream. Unfortunately for this recipe you kind of need an ice cream maker. You can do it without, and I'll tell you exactly once we get to that point how you can make it without an ice cream maker, but essentially you do need an ice cream maker. If you make it without, the consistency is not going to be the same. The flavor is going to be there. You're going to get, your taste buds are going to be filled with mango, delicious mango flavor, but the texture unfortunately won't be the same if you don't have an ice cream maker. So I just wanted to put that out there. For the ingredients, you're going to need mangoes. I already diced mine. I have another one to show you how to do it in case you're not familiar with mangoes and don't really know how to peel it and how to cut it and all that stuff. You're going to need some milk, heavy cream, sugar, juice of half a lime. Make sure, I prefer limes over lemon or mangoes. I think it brings out the flavor a little bit more, but that's maybe my personal preference. In order to cut your mango, like I said, if you're not really familiar with mangoes, it has a pretty large pit or seed in the middle of it. So the way I pretty much cut it is I like to cut the cheeks on both sides, because you're gonna feel the pit, and you pretty much won't be able to cut. So I cut the cheeks both sides, and then this kind of little piece I cut it into little squares like so. I give this one a little cut too, and then with a spoon I kind of go in and you just remove the flesh, and that's it. That's how you cut a mango. We have to puree this in a blender, but meanwhile we want to bring our milk and heavy cream up to a boil. So milk, heavy cream. We want to bring this to a light boil. It's gonna take about 3-4 minutes. You definitely do not want this to be completely boiling, bubbling up. You just want to have light, very small bubbles around the edges, and then you know you're good to go. So I'm gonna put that on medium heat and let it come to a slight boil. Meanwhile, we're going to puree our mangoes. Okay, I'm gonna do juice of half a lime. I'm gonna add it in here. Now I'm going to add mangoes to the blender. I might have to do this in batches because it's not going to fit. Okay, so I have pureed my mangoes very, very well. Now we want to pass it through a sieve because, so you may know, mangoes have a lot of fiber, and you want your gelato or ice cream to be really, really creamy. So I personally like to pass it through a sieve so we can remove all of that fiber. We have our mango puree ready to go. Now, next thing we want to do is cream our eggs and sugar together. Well, our egg yolks and sugar together. Start beating this until it has lightened in color and it's nice and fluffy. My eggs, as you can see, they have lightened in color. They're nice and kind of fluffy. So now we temper our eggs by adding a tiny bit amount of that milk. Okay, and then you want to whisk constantly so your eggs don't scramble. Then we're gonna add a little bit more, like so. Whisking constantly. Again, make sure you're working with room temperature eggs. This is really important. Whenever you're baking, I always say this in all of the videos, I am using eggs to bake, but whenever you're baking, make sure whenever you're baking or working with eggs for a dessert, you should always work with room temperature eggs. Now that our eggs are tempered, we're going to add this mixture right into the pot, and now we want to cook this until it has thickened quite a lot. Let me get a spatula here to get everything out. I'm going to let it cook on medium heat again for about, I think it's gonna take about 5-6 minutes. My cream, it's done, and I'm gonna show you a little trick or something you can do to know if your mixture, your custard is done. You can run your finger, and if it stays separated that way, that means that it's thick enough. So I'm going to pass this through a sieve again, because in case some of my egg did a curdle, I can remove all of that from it. Okay, so here I have my cream mixture. To it, I'm going to add my mango puree very slightly, because since I did have my mangoes in the refrigerator overnight, they are a little bit cold, so I wouldn't want to risk anything happening to my curd. Okay, this looks perfect. Okay, so I'm going to add a pinch of salt because it brings out the flavor in our dish. Okay, so this is done. Now we want to cover it with some plastic wrap. But the trick is not to cover the bowl with the custard or the mixture itself. So I'm going to bring it down. This way it doesn't form a crust on top of our mixture. So this looks pretty good. Now, this has to go in our refrigerator for about 6 hours or overnight. You also have to make sure that your ice cream insert, it's in the freezer. It has to be extremely cold. So I've always have it in my deep freezer, so I keep it there throughout in case I ever want to make ice cream that's ready to go. But if you don't do that, you need to put it at least 6 hours or overnight would be best. Okay, we're back. It's been a few hours. I got my ice cream insert already in here. My mixture is a little thicker than it was before. This is so good. You can honestly drink it as a milkshake. This tastes exactly like a mango milkshake. It is delicious. Okay, so I'm going to pour this in here. Okay. So all of that goes in there. And now we turn this on. My ice cream maker takes about 30 minutes to freeze the mixture. So make sure you check your ice cream maker's instructions to see how long it takes for you. So I'm gonna turn this on and I'll see you back here in 30 minutes. Another thing, if you don't have an ice cream maker, you can make this in the freezer. The only thing that you have to do is make sure you need to mix it every 4 hours, about 3 to 4 times. Otherwise it's not gonna, like I said, the texture's not gonna be the same, but it's still gonna taste good. If you have molds for ice cream bars, you can also do it in there. And then you got yourself some ice cream bars. But those are the few ways that you can make it. So I'm going to turn this on and I'll see you back here in about 30 minutes. Okay, it's ready. It has been going for 35 minutes and I'm going to show you how good it looks. Look at that. Wow. Wow. It is so creamy and delicious. Wow, look at that color. Look at that beautiful color. I have my ice cream container here to go. I found this one at Marshall's for like $2.99. It was such a steal. Look how creamy and perfect this is. It is so good. Okay, so as you can see, it's kind of like a soft serve consistency at the moment, but since we freeze it, it's gonna be a little harder, little more of ice cream gelato consistency later on. See if I can go in and grab myself a scoop. Look at that. Wow, beautiful. Look at that. This is what dreams are made of. I'm telling you, it is so darn good. And now comes my favorite part, which is the taste test, of course. This is so incredibly creamy and silky and luscious and beautiful. Wow, this is such a nice texture. Full of mango flavor. Full of mango flavor. Really does taste wonderful. Remember, you can always find my recipe at anitasdelightsrecipes.com. You will find the written recipe there with all the instructions, with all of that good stuff. So I am going to go ahead and enjoy my little bowl of ice cream because it is 90 degrees outside. It is so hot here in Miami at the moment. It's hot all year round, but right now it's very hot. So I hope you guys enjoyed my mango gelato or mango ice cream, whatever you're gonna call it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.